Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Phoebe. I feel like in the past 5 years, trends have become so trendy and there have been so many just absolutely wildfire trends. Trends that have spread so far, so fast, and I think this is large in part due to TikTok and social media. And I wanted to go through what I think of as the top wildfire trends of the last 5 years and rank them based on how far and wide they spread, based on how much I like them, and I'll also let you know if I have purchased any of them. So I have my laptop with me and we're gonna go through and make this little tier list together. But first, I have to thank the sponsor of this video, which is Ritual. I can't believe it has taken me this long to start taking a multivitamin, and Ritual's Essential for Women 18 Plus has been an absolute staple in my morning routine recently. All of Ritual's products are made traceable, meaning they tell you where all of their labeled ingredients come from, why they're in there, and how their products are validated. Essential for Women 18 Plus is a clinically backed, clean, high-quality multivitamin for women aged 18 to 49 to help fill in key nutrient gaps in the diet. Essential for Women 18 Plus is also USP verified, which is a third-party quality certification, which sets one of the highest bars for product transparency. Less than 1% of multivitamins have earned this mark. It is third-party tested, vegan-friendly, non-GMO certified, gluten-free, and formulated without major allergens. I take 2 capsules daily that are essenced mint, and they are delayed release capsules, which are designed to be gentle on the stomach, and that means you can take them with or without food. Ritual is also subscription based, so you never run out of your vitamins, which is really, really nice. For 30% off of your first Ritual order, you can click the link in my description, and thank you so much to Ritual for sponsoring a portion of this video. Okay, let's get into this tier list. All of the trends I mention also include dupes. So if I say something that is a designer piece, I know not a million people have gone out and bought that designer piece, but maybe it was the designer piece that sparked this trend. Everything I mention, know that it includes the dupes as well. First one, starting out strong, we have Adidas Sambas. These spread so far and so wide, and I think the reason they did is because they can be really easily applied to a lot of different styles. You can get them in so many different colorways, but I do think that there are a couple here that I'm going to mention later that are even crazier in the way that they spread. So I'm going to put this into the A tier. Next, we have the Gani leopard print jeans. And I think that I've decided that instead of making this confusing, I'm going to rank them based on how viral they were, how trendy they were, how many people wore them in real life versus how many people wore them online. Just an overall gauge of how popular they actually were. And I'm going to take my preferences out of it. Because the Gani jeans, I don't think I hated them in the beginning, but they ran so rampant both online and in real life. This is one of the trends that I have actually seen people wear in real life. There are a few that we'll get to that are very like chronically online trends. And I do think this is a chronically online trend, but I think enough people hopped on it in real life that I'm going to put it in the S tier. There have been so many dupes of these jeans, and I think that this is one of the trends that has made its way out of the fashion girly community and into like the every girl community. Next, we have bows. Coquette style bows. Bows of any kind, really. Ribbons, pink little bows. This is the trend that inspired this video because it is actually so crazy to me how rampant this trend has run. Definitely started on TikTok and Pinterest and has made its way into everything. Not even just fashion. Bows have made their way into interior design. People have been incorporating them into like little dinner party aesthetics, like tying them around wine glasses, decking out their decor in bows. People have been getting tattooed bows. So much bow paraphernalia. And this definitely belongs in the S tier because it transcends even just the fashion space. It is just a 2025 trend in every way, shape, and form, or 2020s trend in every way, shape, and form. Next, we have the House of Sunny Hockney dress, and this one is like really specific. It is like this one dress. There definitely have been dupes of it, but I do think this is a very particular style that you can't really apply to every single person. I think most people can incorporate things like bows and sambas into their style, no matter what it is, if they wanted to. This dress, I think, belongs in something like the C tier. Keep in mind, all of these are trends that I feel like spread like wildfire, so even the D tier is gonna be like really big trends. But I'm putting this in the C tier because I've actually never seen anyone in real life wear this, but I know it was a big TikTok and like fashion girly piece. Next, we have the Miu Miu Moto boots in black and in brown. This includes all of the dupes. I have seen this everywhere on Pinterest, dupes at the mall. If I've gone to the mall, I've seen dupes of it in like almost every fast fashion store and even more like high-end stores. Sambas. I've seen people wear them in real life, and I think this is gonna go in B tier because I feel like it is a step below Sambas, but a step above the House of Sunny dress. I have seen dupes galore of this boot. Next, we have jerseys, and I kind of am specifically talking about jerseys styled in the bloquette kind of way, styled with really feminine things, not just wearing like a jersey for like a game day. Oh, I forgot to tell you whether I own things. I don't own any of these so far. This one I feel like I'm gonna put in D tier just because it is part of like a really niche aesthetic trend. Bloquette has been really popular online and on TikTok, but I really haven't seen anyone wear it. I think maybe if you live in London, this might be different. I think that people just don't really wear it in real life that much in the US. I think just because of its specificity, it belongs in D tier because I don't think it has made its way into everyone's closet by any means. Next, we have chunky resin jewelry, chunky resin rings, and chunky resin bangles. I'm gonna tier these separately, but they might end up in the same tier anyway. I feel like the rings went viral first. I feel like this is part of the like maximalist, colorful trend that like bag charms maybe fall into. This feels like a very TikTok trend, whereas the resin bangles feel like a Pinterest trend to me. Let me know if you agree with that. I feel like the rings are a little bit more trendy, and the bangles are more like fashion girly trendy. So for that reason, I think I'm gonna put the rings in B tier and the bangles in C tier because I feel like there's just a wider group of people who would wear the rings than the bangles. Next, we have Boston Birkenstocks. This one was a little bit longer ago now, but definitely still in the 2020s. This is a trend I can get behind because it's comfortable. I feel like anyone can wear them. I think I would maybe put them on a similar tier as Adidas Sambas. I think Sambas was maybe a little bit more recent, so it might seem like it was bigger, but during the Boston Birks era, everyone had them and everyone wore them in real life. I think that might be what separates the S and A tiers from the rest of them, is that I have seen people wearing all of the S and A tier trends so many times in my real life as well as online everywhere. Next, we have the micro bob, and this is another one where a ton of my actual close friends have had this in the past 5 years. I have had this haircut in the past 5 years. It has been all over Pinterest. I feel like every influencer has chopped their hair in the past 5 years to this specific micro bob length, like just above the chin. Bobs have always been around, of course. This exact length of a micro bob with or without bangs, I feel like has been extra trendy in the past couple of years. So I'm gonna put this in A tier. Next, we have jorts, and this might surprise you because it's not like so niche. It's not like a hit you in your face kind of trend, but if you think about it, this was not trendy at all. In fact, was considered extremely dorky before the 20s. Obviously, everything I'm talking about has trended in the past, and so jorts were definitely in like way before, but just in the past 5 years, I feel like they've been really ultra trendy. Again, I think this is one that has been trendy in the like fashion community, but then also outside of the fashion community, just people who have any slight interest in fashion, I feel like have hopped on the jorts trend. I've seen it so much in real life, and I actually think, no, I'm gonna put it in A tier. I was about to put it in S tier, but I think I'm gonna reserve the S tier for the ones that are like specific and extremely common. Next, we have the Rode lip case, and this is one that makes me laugh because it is so exact product specific. It was such a unique design that is like very specific to the brand, and yet so many fast phone case brands have copied this exact design and have somehow gotten away with it. And this is one that I think I'm going to put in S tier. Hailey Bieber right next to herself. I think I'm going to put it in S tier, not because more people have the Rode phone case than people who have jorts or Sambas or whatever, but because this one is just like, it is so 2025 or 2024 or whatever. It's so iconic because it's so specific. Those are the kinds of trends that just kind of make me laugh. Next, we have cow print, cowhide, and pony print, pony hide. I'm just grouping them together. This has become really trendy pretty recently, I would say in the past like 1 year, honestly. I think this is kind of like a fashion girly trend. I don't think that the masses have like really caught on to this as much as they've caught on to other ones. So I think I'm gonna put this in D tier. Maybe I'm wrong. All of these are running rampant, so even in the D tier, don't come for me. Next, we have collectible toys. The Sunny Angels, the Jellycats, Labubus, the Miffy dolls. This is another one that cracks me up because it's so random and so specific, but has run so rampant in the last few years. And I have a couple qualms with this that I think I might make a whole video about. Obviously, it's so like lighthearted on the surface and it's fun and it's like connects you back with your childhood. But I have seen these kinds of toys presented in ways that really rub me the wrong way. And you guys are gonna be so confused when you hear me say that. But I want to talk about some things that concern me with this trend. And if you have any guesses as to what I'm hinting at, please let me know in the comments and I might make a video all about it soon. This is going straight in the S tier for me. Ultra specific, but every person and their mother has this. I'm sorry for swearing. I'm getting randomly passionate about this one. It doesn't actually make me mad. I'm not judging you if you have these. I have a couple and I think they're fun. They're going in S tier. Next we have barrel jeans, a trend that I think we're going to look back on the 2020s or at least the early 2020s and think of. Every time I make a video talking about trends and I say literally anything, I get so many comments being like, this isn't a new trend. This was trending back in the 70s. This isn't a new trend. When I was in high school in the 80s, this was trending. I'm never claiming that these trends are new. Just let the record show that is exactly what a trend is something that's just happens to be trending in this period of time. Just because something is a trend now doesn't mean that it wasn't a trend before, and it doesn't mean that it won't trend again later. I just had to get that off of my chest. The barrel jeans, I think, are a little bit less common than jorts. I think I'm gonna put them in the B tier, kind of on the same line as the moto boots and the resin ring. Next, we have trench coats and pea coats buttoned to the top specifically. This was obviously a viral TikTok trend, but I also just see it everywhere on Pinterest. I think this is more of a fashion girly trend. I think that girls who are only like casually into fashion maybe do this on accident, but aren't really like participating in the trend unless you're like very much into fashion. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm going to put this in the, you know what? I'm going to put it in B tier. I think people do it a lot and it's not like, no, I'm going to put it in C tier. I feel like that cannot have come up as often as barrel leg jeans. I also totally forgot to mention that so many of these ideas came from you guys. I put a poll on my Instagram story and asked you to tell me what the biggest wildfire trends of the past 5 years have been in your mind. And you guys gave me so much material for this video. I picked the ones that were said the most. I had so many submissions, which I cannot thank you guys enough for. It is so fun to know that I have a little community on Instagram who came from YouTube. So if you don't follow me on Instagram yet, you should go do that and maybe you can participate in an upcoming video. Somebody said white round neck tees under a sweater. And this sounds like it's so normal because we've been seeing it so much, but we forget that there was a big period where we would wear sweaters with nothing under it. We would wear little V-neck sweaters with just a bare chest. And this has actually arguably become a really big trend in the past 5 years. I have seen it so much. Cardigans have been trending as well. And I think last time cardigans were really trending was the 90s. And back then, I don't think we buttoned them all the way to the top. And I don't think we wore a white tee under them purposefully. Now I see this look all the time. And I think I'm going to put it in A tier because I think people of most styles can do this and have been doing it. I think it's been a Pinterest trend, an Instagram trend, a TikTok trend, and a real life trend. Next, we have MEJ claw clips, the little bedazzled claw clips from the brand MEJ. These were definitely a wildfire trend, but I think within a really niche group of fashion girls on Instagram, I think. I feel like they're the Matilda Durf Avenue fashion girls pre the whole incident. I kind of feel like Matilda is who introduced MEJ to so many people. I'm actually going to put it in D tier because I think that this is a trend that absolutely blew up, but within a really small contained group of people. Next, we have the platform Tasman Uggs and the platform Ultra Mini Uggs. I actually have both of these. I don't really style them per se, but I wear them around the house every day of my life. And you know what? I was gonna say these are along the same lines as the Boston Birks, but I actually think they belong in S tier. This is one that exists past the fashion girls. I would even argue that the cliche quote fashion girl on like YouTube wouldn't maybe have these because they were so trendy and so they're like considered uncool, I guess. But I have seen these online a million times nonetheless. I've seen them styled. I've seen them with athleisure. I've seen them in real life, in the real world so many times as well. I think they belong in S tier. Next, we have the slick back bun, and this is going straight to S tier because I would argue that every girl I know know has tried this unless they are above the age of like 35 maybe. Every girl in my generation has at least tried a slick back bun once, and I would say half the girls I know wear them regularly. Very much a real life trend as well as an online one. Next we have the Susamusa polka dot skirt, and this is one that I feel like was contained to the fashion girlies until all of the dupes started coming out, and now I think everyone's wearing it. Polka dots in general have been so trendy, and I think that polka dot mini skirts or polka dot midi skirts in that like silky mesh-ish, a little bit see-through material have been really, really trendy, and I think that so many people who dip their toes in fashion or just like fashion don't consider them a fashion girl or like a fashion content girl, but just people who like fashion, I feel like wear this all the time, even though they maybe don't know where the OG came from. And maybe there was one exactly like this that came before Susamusa, but I think that is the brand that really blew it up and made it kind of cool girl, and now everyone's hopping on. So if I'm including the dupes with this, I'm gonna put this in B tier. Next we have the Miu Miu tortoiseshell oval-shaped glasses. This kind of shape of like small ovular glasses has blown up in the past couple of years. And again, if we're including dupes and we're just looking at glasses that look like this, I think this has been definitely more of an online trend than a real life trend. This is like a TikTok, Pinterest, Instagram photo trend. I don't know a ton of people who wear these in real life unless they just always have worn that shape of glasses. But it's crazy online. Like it's everywhere online. It's just not as much in real life. I actually think it does belong in A tier though. Next we have gingham capris, fitted gingham capris. These have been so trendy that they scream fast fashion to me even when they're not fast fashion. And to me that's kind of the mark of a big wildfire trend, because it just proves how many people have gotten on the trend so fast, how many companies have started churning them out so fast. That being said, I do think it's a pretty specific style, so I think I'm gonna put this in C tier, and I'm actually gonna revoke my first C tier one, which is the House of Sunny dress. I'm gonna put that in D tier because I feel like it's just a little bit too specific, and I feel like these gingham capris belong in C tier, but they are definitely more common than the specific House of Sunny dress. But maybe I just think that because we're a little bit further removed from the House of Sunny era than we are from the gingham capris era, but that's what I'm feeling. Next we have the Fry campus boots, specifically in this color. What's the color called? Like camel or something. And the weird thing about this boot is I've seen it everywhere on Pinterest and stuff. I don't have TikTok, so I'm sure it's on TikTok, but I get most of my fashion content from Pinterest. And I've seen it everywhere on Pinterest, but I really haven't seen many dupes for it. I just see people who either buy them new or a lot of times get them secondhand. Am I wrong in that? Are there a lot of fast fashion brands that are making dupes of this, or are people just like all investing in the actual Fry campus boot? Because I see them everywhere online. That being said, I haven't seen any in real life. I actually have these exact boots. Maybe I sold them, but at one point I had them. And I'm gonna put them in B tier because I actually think I'm gonna put them in C. I think they were a little bit less common than the Moto boot. Next we have Havaianas, and because they're so simple, everyone has hopped on this trend. Obviously, I'm speaking figuratively when I say everyone, but I think that I would argue they're just as popular as Adidas Sambas. They're like the summertime version of that. So I'm gonna put them in A tier. Adidas track pants, immediately S tier, and if you have any arguments, I'm willing to go to bat in the comments about it. These are everywhere. They're everywhere in real life. They're everywhere online. They're styled a million different ways, and they are 5 million times trendier than they ever have been, and I'm willing to die on that hill. Next, the Gani buckle ballet flats. This combines about a million different trends into one. Ballet flats, pointed toe shoes, the grommets, the pop of red. This combines so many different trends. So for that reason, I'm gonna put it in B tier. I think it belongs there. Next we have the Mason Margiela tabbies, and again this includes all dupes. I think this goes a step below the Gani flats because I feel like the Gani flats are a fashion trend that expanded from really niche fashion forward girls to a wider group of girls that follow trends. The tabbies I don't think have really expanded their reach quite as much. I think their prevalence in fashion culture is really strong at the moment, but I think in terms of actually purchasing tabbies, a way smaller group of people are going to move forward with doing that than with the Gani ballet flats or something similar. So I'm gonna put that, actually I might put I'm gonna put tabbies in C tier. They're not the same vibe as all of the other things in C tier, but they're in C tier for their own reason. Next, we have burgundy Mary Janes. And this trend reminds me of Lindsay Rem. I don't know why. I don't even know if she has a pair of these. It gives that style. And I feel like her style is really simple and trendy in the way that it's like tasteful and digestible, but really cute, still follows some trends. And I think there are a lot of girls out there who appreciate that kind of style. This one I'm gonna put it in D tier. And this is why. I think even though there might be more people who own these and who wear them than people who own things like the Sousa Moussa skirt, Moto boots, and Gani flats and stuff, but they're just not as like viral. They're not as like specific and viral as a lot of the other ones. So for that reason, I'm putting them in D tier. Next, we have pinstripe trousers. And I do think this has been a fashion girl trend for a while. And I do think it is kind of making its way outside of that circle into like the broader group of girls that care at least a little bit about fashion and enjoy following trends. I don't think it has spread quite as widely as things in the S and A tier, but I think it definitely deserves a spot in B tier. We're almost done, guys. We're getting there. Next, we have bag charms. And to me, this goes right along with the collectible toys trend. It is so prevalent on TikTok, and I don't even have TikTok, and yet I know it's so prevalent on TikTok. That's how prevalent it is. There are a million dupes to every kind of charm that started trending. So many fast fashion brands have been whipping these out. So many fast everything brands, so many cheap brands have been just whipping out these keychains and calling them bag charms, and it goes in S tier. Next, we have tiny tattoos, little like stamp-like tattoos. People either have one or a couple or a whole sleeve of them, but if they have a whole sleeve of them, they are like separated and very evenly spaced, like you took a little stamp and just stamped a few all around your arms. I kind of feel like this is a new thing, relatively speaking. Over the whole history of tattoos, I feel like this is a new trend that maybe hasn't really been around, at least in this specific style. I can't help but think it also has to do with social media, not just in the sense that social media made it popular, but in the sense that tattoo artists now have a big presence on their social media platforms and have started offering, or maybe they always have, but I think being present on social media has given rise to the popularity of flash tats, of just making a bunch of these little designs that they post and then people claim. And I think that might be what has made these small tattoos so much more popular and easier to get and easier to be exposed to. So for that reason, I'm actually going to put this in A tier. Next, we have Pop of Red. This is definitely going in either A or S because crazy social media trend, crazy Pinterest trend, and I've also seen it a bunch in real life. Not as much on people who aren't chronically online though. But I mean, it's the same with the bag charms and Adidas track pants. Like all of these are very chronically online. So I'm gonna put it in S tier. Next, we have bubble skirts, a silhouette that I don't think has been trending for a while until the last couple of years. Fast fashion brands whip them out. They're all over Pinterest, but I do think that they are unique enough that even if you are someone who really likes following trends, you might choose to skip just because it is a little bit more different and it's not as easy to adopt as some things. It's kind of like tabbies. So I'm gonna put it in C tier right next to the tabbies. And last one, another shoe one, we have loafers and crew socks. Shout out to Lindsay Rem because this is another one that really reminds me of her and her style and that big group of girls that has that kind of similar style. I feel like this belongs higher than the Mary Janes because I think that a lot of people with a lot of styles would wear this. And it's not just loafers that I'm talking about. I'm talking about loafers with crew socks because I feel like that has been the more like online viral trend of the last couple of years. I'm going to put this in B tier. All right, guys, this is our final tier list of wildfire trends of the 2020s. Please let me know how you would order this differently, if you disagree or agree with anything I said, and if you think I missed any wildfire trends. Comment them in the comments and tell me where you would place them on this tier list. This was so much fun. I love doing silly little videos like this that don't matter. It's fun. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you want to. And with that, I'll see you guys in a couple days with another one. Bye, guys.